This is a 2019 Audi A7. It has a 3-liter turbocharged V6. It makes 335 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. This specific car has a sticker price right around $82,000. Spent a couple of days with it. Now I've come up with some things that I love and hate about it. Let's start off with the positives. Regarding the styling, when it first launched, I wasn't completely in love with it. I thought the front grille was a little too big, and even now, I don't love it with the silver optics package or the silver trim around the windows and the grille. I think it needs a black optics to kind of help it blend in a little bit better. But what I really love about the way it looks are the headlights and taillights. Audi was one of the first ones to really pioneer really cool daytime running lights. You remember the signature shape in the R8 and the first gen A7, it kind of really stood out, and it was, wow, it looked awesome. But now everybody's caught up to that, and everything has a daytime running light setup that's LED, and it looks pretty cool. So they had to take it another step further. And this A7 is absolutely amazing. And this is whole little welcome dance when you go to unlock the car, where the individual cells kind of light up in direction and it goes sequentially. Same thing in that big long tail light in the back. It's kind of a big light bar. It lights up in a sequential manner. There's action to it. It's not just light, flash, on, off. It does really cool things, and I think it's amazing. Every time I go to unlock the car, actually I might be able to show you guys right now if we unlock it. See, it does that, and then, oh my God, it's so cool. Absolutely love that about the car. The next thing is going to be how it drives, and I was actually really impressed. It's smooth, it's comfortable. As a daily driver, it's great. As a road trip vehicle, oh, it'll eat 3-4 hours and just without even like putting any fatigue on the driver. It just cruises along. It is comfortable. It's surprisingly quiet. This one, as a Prestige, does have the double laminated glass, but these are frameless doors, so you get a little bit of wind noise, but it's still very quiet. It rides very comfortably, and it just eats the miles. And it's surprisingly efficient too. 3-liter turbocharged V6. I was able to achieve more than what the stated MPG was supposedly at. I think it was like 22 city and 27 highway. I was getting close to 30 on the freeway, doing normal freeway speeds. On a full tank, it would display over 500 miles of range. So as a road trip car, this thing is great. Ample power, only a 3-liter turbocharged V6 with 335. In a world where like my RS7 makes 560 and the S7s are in the 400s, it might seem not that great, especially it's a bigger, heavier sedan, but feels very strong. I just think it drives really well. And then part of that also is all the technology you get with it. The lane keep assist combined with the adaptive cruise control is really good. Not quite like a Tesla autopilot system, or even the A8. The newest A8 has an even more advanced system than this, but I like how it makes it feel like it's a lot more lane centered. Less of like you're a ping pong ball bouncing between lane markers, which some of the earlier lane keep assist systems are like, but just on a road trip or just cruising, it handles traffic fine. You just sit there and it just takes care of things. It's got heated and cooled seats as part of the packages. All of the other technology too. Infotainment. MMI, this generation. When I first saw it and it had double touchscreens, I was like, oh, come on, where'd all the buttons go? It's all touchscreens now. But once you get used to it, with the A6 is when I first started to learn to use this system, you start to really like it. It's got this really cool like haptic touch feedback, gives you a little vibration, the click when you actually hit the screen. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay run very nicely on the top screen. Your climate control things that support swiping, scrolling, clicking, and it has redundant physical buttons. There's actually still a volume knob, which is great because we all know trying to swipe for a volume is just frustrating. Again, the infotainment, MMI, is great. I really like this touchscreen generation. I'll put in some clips of the interior lighting and all the things that make this just a cool, very modern and technology-filled luxury vehicle. So to sum up the things that I really love about the A7 before we get to some of the negatives, I think it looks really good. Now, I would do maybe some different wheel choices. I would definitely do a blackout grille package, but the lights, that's something hard to change. It's easy to change wheels and change like trim color. Lights are just really cool piece of technology, and then it still has that the fastback on a 4-door coupe, which is a hatchback on this vehicle. The roof line just looks way better than the A7, and then it drives very nicely. As a road trip car, it devours miles. Literally 3.5 hours in a stint without stopping. You're just like, oh, okay. And then on top of that, it gets great range and fuel economy. I was actually averaging close to 30 mpg, and 30 mpg over hundreds of miles, which I was impressed with at freeway speeds. Drives great, has great technology, infotainment is awesome, but it's not perfect. Really like this car, but there are some things that I absolutely hate about it. The first one is part of that driver assistance adaptive cruise control, radar cruise control. So you're following the flow of traffic, doing, all right, let's just say people do 75 and a 70. cruise control set to 75, going along. All of a sudden, the speed limit drops to 65. The front camera goes, oh, I just saw a sign that says the speed limit is out 65. You're going to do 65 now. It changes the target speed to that speed limit, and all of a sudden it hits the brakes. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Traffic is still flowing at 75. All of a sudden, my car's slowing down. What the heck? Obviously, when driving, you're paying attention. I catch it, and I'm like, okay, toggle to speak back up. Back up to cruising with the flow of traffic. All of a sudden, it drops to 55 miles an hour. Does the same thing, and it slams on the brakes pretty hard. I almost feel like that's more dangerous. Now, obviously, there are speed limits. I more so like to follow the flow of traffic, not condoning speeding or breaking any speeding laws, but let's just say you're following the flow of traffic and it's going above 55, because let's be honest, a lot of places where it's 55 miles an hour, the cars are not doing 55. So if you're sitting there doing 55 and your delta, your speed differential to the flow of traffic is 20 plus miles an hour, I feel like that's more dangerous than just following the flow of traffic. So it does that. It's really frustrating. I'm not sure how to change it. Dug through MMI a little bit, didn't quite find how to do it, but essentially, if you're just cruising along smoothly with adaptive cruise going, lane keep, you're just kind of one hand on the wheel, nice and following the flow of traffic, all of a sudden, if the car sees a speed limit sign, and it'll recognize, it pops up like a little green speed limit 60, it'll slam on the brakes, not slam, it'll brake pretty aggressively. I hate that. It drove me insane. Last thing that I hate about it, and honestly, I could only really come up with two major things. The fake exhaust tips are they're irritating. It's got these like little rear fascia things on it. It's like a trim piece, and it's not as bad as like the SQ5, which is trying to pretend to be like an exhaust tip, or like the S6 and S7, I think in Europe. It's just like an oval, but it's filled in with plastic, and the exhaust tip goes below. Same thing this one. The exhaust never actually goes through the bumper. It just goes right down, downturn tips below you hit the bumper. And they did kind of a little like styling cue. Maybe they're gradually easing us away from expecting to see an exhaust tip in the back. Now again, this is an A7. It's not supposed to be a sporty model. This is just about luxury. It's not a huge deal, just a little bit irritating. Now if like an RS7 or the RS6 or the S6, S7 had that, I'd be a little bit more irritated. Like the SQ5 bothers me. Now again, I don't care if it is a fascia tip on the actual bumper and an exhaust tip comes into it, like the new Porsche 911, 992 generation. Annoyed me a little bit, but it's still okay. My RS7 is like that. It's not like that big oval tip is actually connected to the exhaust. The exhaust tips come in right underneath it. But this one, it's got these fake things on it, and the tips go straight down. But I think in summary, those are the two biggest things I can really find to hate about the A7. You can tell that I like it. Now, I've been a little bit of an Audi person for a little bit. I've had many of them, from an S4 to an R8 to my RS7 now. This new generation, as a daily driver, I really like it. Now, $82,000 is pretty expensive. You're paying for a lot more, essentially just for it to look sexier, compared to an A6, because powertrain-wise, a lot of things are pretty much the same as the platform mate of the A6. But as something that is practical and spacious, I did some IKEA runs. It fits like a 78-inch long giant table that I had to buy in the back. It'll fit people, great road trip, great technology. The lights, I just really love the lights. And then live with a couple of those downsides to it. I really do like the Audi A7. I think it's a great vehicle. Really enjoyed my time with this car. I could see myself replacing the RS7 with one of these as a daily driver, comfortable, luxurious, very nice, and then add a sports car versus combining both and getting a new generation RS6 Avant or an RS7, which would be probably similar things like that, but it would probably ride worse because the new RS7 has 22-inch wheels as an upgrade. That's probably bigger than this actual tire. And it probably has that much sidewall on it. So I really do like having sidewall. So like when you hit a pothole, you don't cry. Anyways, there is what I love and hate about the 2019 Audi A7. Hope you guys like this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.